Okay, actually before I go, I'm going to pull the tuning condenser out so it can soak overnight. And as I was removing these, I noticed something interesting. They tie one half of these variable mica capacitors to the screw that ends up being grounded here. So I have to remove these two to get the tuning condenser out. Okay, interesting thing. I have it in the dirty cleaning vinegar, and there's so much like grease and dirt on the plates that it's actually increasing the surface tension of the bubbles. Normally those are all gone the moment you drop it in, but no, it's making bubbles there because it's so covered in grease, which is why I'm going to let this sit overnight. Before anyone says anything, I remembered to get the mica wafers out, so then the tuning condenser's little plates can sit freely. And I tried to clean them off. It did not end up going perfectly, so I am going to soak them in alcohol. And interestingly, the one on the left seems to be slightly thinner than the other one, which I've never seen before. Hopefully just down to not as good as manufacturing tolerances as we have today, because I didn't make a mark of which one is which. Alright, tuning condenser is cleaned. Looks mostly good. There's a couple of little spots you can see there where that's actually gunk, not rust. So it's gunk over rust, so it's sealed, so it's not going anywhere. While it's moving freely, and I've let this sit for like 6 hours because I didn't get to sleep until 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And then woke up at 2. What I'm going to do is inject some lithium grease in here. Yeah, it's nice and smooth. I just want it to stay that way. And more importantly, though, we have these stupid things. Let's zoom in. It's crumbling. There. Luckily, Harbor Freight to the rescue. So I think that is going to be like a 1/2 inch, maybe a 5/8. Before we do that, though, what I want to do is clean these off. It's crumbling. And now what I'll do is, where is it? Here it is. Grab a little piece of steel wool and some of this stuff. I'm using it because of its abrasive properties. It doesn't really do much for steel, but just a little bit of it helps this, I found, and just hold on to it with a pair of tweezers, and then it will clean it pretty well. I will say be careful with these. Some of these chassis were coated in cadmium, which is not good to breathe in. So that's the reason I don't have any fan on right now. If I did have a fan on, I would be wearing a mask right now, but it's not moving around much. It's probably still not safe. I'd still recommend wearing a mask, but I need to talk. I don't like using a wire brush for this because that's usually more abrasive and actually leaves a lot of line marks. And I also don't like using, but I don't like doing a full teardown of this because you open yourself up to so many ways that you could break things. Either you forget where something goes, you snap a wire, you lose an important nut or something, and then you have to make up some solution which is not ideal. So I like taking it apart one piece at a time and working on it. With the wire and stuff, especially cloth wire, just make sure that if you're using something like that Brasso, that make sure it doesn't get on the wires because it will soak into it and it can either damage the cloth itself or the copper underneath. I mean, it mentions copper here, but brass itself is an alloy. I believe it's copper and zinc. I believe bronze is a mixture of copper and silver. Don't quote me on that. I think that's correct. And now I'm just going to Windex this down. So now that's nice and clean there. Now I can drop this down after putting on gaskets, right? Shoot. Forgot. I need these little top pieces here. Yeah, that's about as good as a joint that they did. There. Let's rapid blow that cool. Okay, good enough. There. There. All right. I took it out and I just gave this thing a wipe down with, again, the steel wool treatment. Took off this top nut, so now we can slide this out very carefully. There's a piece of paper getting stuck in here, so let's try to... Oh, jeez. Here you can see what the insides of the transformer looks like. Luckily, it has a nice ceramic base at the top. So this is actually one instance where a wire brush would be useful, but I left it inside and I'm still rolling, so we're going to do it live. This part isn't super critical to be clean as long as the screws spin freely, which they do. I want to keep them near their peak just because that will greatly help in working on this. So what I'm going to do is set the chassis aside so I can get my helping hands out. So then I can use this to hold on to the base here. Here you can see the coils for, this is only in the 50s, but you can see how much they shrunk it. Let's center this. Okay. So all I need to do is desolder this and put on new wire. So now that's done, and I'm going to replace the underside wires with just some hookup wire. Fast forward a little bit, got it all wired up here, so technically this fish paper is not necessary, but I will try to put some in. So I widened out that space there with the... I just realized I didn't clean off the top, so let me quickly do that. That looks good. Alright, I'm working on it upside down now. This actually feels more natural. So, got a picture. So, red one is supposed to go here. One with a mark on it goes here, and then this one goes up here. Got it. Okay, well that was a success. I'm on shortwave because someone's using a dimmer switch, which kills the AM band.
What'd you say?
This audio file in video format on YouTube. On YouTube. Type
YouTube.
Ministry.
So, as far as the electrical restoration is concerned, we're done. Other than maybe mounting this a little bit better, nothing else to do other than adding a fuse holder, which is simple. And then I'll clean it up off camera, and then when we come back, you'll see it all cleaned up. The chassis will be ready to go, the speaker will be fixed, and then we can see what we can do about the case. Okay, mid-cleaning, I replaced the wires here on the primary of this replacement transformer. It was a Thorardson. I've never heard of that before. But there are markings on here which says like primary and secondary, so this, yeah, here. So that leads me to believe that this is a generic replacement that they blue tacked on. So I'm going to, once again, see what I can do about mounting this. This took a while to figure out, but this is like the most satisfying part. Dial string works now. I want to put something on there just to keep these knots held in a little bit better. But yeah, it spins now. Feels fine. If you're wondering, let me try to draw it. Okay, I think this is going to be the easiest way for me to show it to you. As you can see, this is take 2 now. So it starts here, and then it makes 2 turns around here, and then it goes up, and then it makes a full loop before coming in here. So that is your dial string configuration. Alright, we're all put back together now. All that's left to do is wire up a plug, and then we will align the thing. It's all cleaned up. I forgot to clip on the light bulbs. That's how that goes on. And we'll listen to some radio. Okay, so we're warming up now. Going to get ready to align this thing. It's genuinely ridiculous how quiet this thing is. Like, that's its background hum. I can't hear it unless I literally put my ear up to the speaker. That's the volume all the way open. Yeah, this thing's pretty good. Put the 6E5 in there for now, even though, again, it's the wrong tube. It's getting something with that. Oh, it's that guy. That's impressive, especially given that, again, this thing is currently misaligned because, when I was repairing the tuning condenser, of course, I had to pull out the micas. That's with the, just on the insulation.
Very few have the conviction inside of them.
Here's the money shot.
Turn the grace of God.
So it's currently 11:11, so at like 11:30 I will start to align this thing.
And he would teach me certain subjects about the Bible. I'll never forget that.
The Bible.
It came back to my go to hell when he died.
Okay.
I know now, I hadn't studied the
There's a
Bible.
little bit of wiggle in this, so. It's interesting. This thing, you can hear the sort of digital sounds in the background, which is how, like, you can, like, sync things up with this. Of course, most of your radio clocks sync up with WWVB, which is on long wave. So yeah, give it like 5 or 10 more minutes and then we'll align it. Okay, I found out the problem of why it was slightly moving weirdly. If you look here, the disc wiggles ever so slightly before it moves the tuning capacitor. And it's not this collar here. I tried tightening that. The collar is like coupled to this, so what I think I need to do is just put some glue here. Let me get some epoxy.